Hey y'all, Bloodwing here, back to bring some grumpiness to your internet. Welcome back to Redneck Radio, the live stream where you get an extra side of I'll punch you in the throat. How's that? With me, as always, is Irate Bear. Bear's feeling a little under it today. He's got a sore shoulder, so be nice to him.
They're always nice. Well, actually, no, they're not. They're usually horrible to me. But hello, everybody. I hope you're well. And speaking of people being nice to me, we're joined by Mr. Campbell 300 there in the chat.
Yeah, right off the bat. Look at that.
Look at him turning up on time.
Yeah.
He was late. He turned up at the last second last time. That's why.
Yeah. Faithless is in for 68 minutes. Yeah, be sure to get your bets in on when the old man goes to the bathroom.
67.
Hey, Nuts. Bear's in for 67. He's going to undercut it for a minute. He's using that Price is Right method.
Yeah, exactly. He got True Master Cole there for 66, so I jump in the middle there, I reckon.
So how you doing today, Bear, besides the sore shoulder?
I'm okay, thank you, mate. It's mostly in my neck.
Yeah.
I have no idea why it is. I made a video today. Viper Sword and I made a video for Irate Alex.
Yeah, I've seen that pop up.
Yeah, we took a look at the second trailer for Aladdin, and it's like a 20-minute video. So be sure to go check that out after the stream, guys.
Yeah.
And that's about it, really, mate. My work for the veterans group on Facebook continues, and trying to get them involved is proving a little bit difficult.
Better you than me, dude. I wouldn't want to have to head up something like that. No.
Yeah, obviously veterans tend to be quite stoic individuals.
Yeah.
And, are quite stubborn, trying to get them off their ass to come do something, especially when that thing involves, helping them in a multitude of ways, not just mental health.
Wow, it's like we're talking about somebody I know. Oh, wait, it's me.
Yeah, it's like trying to motivate you to try and do something. Except I don't know who they are, so I can't bully them.
Yeah, no, my hat's off to you, dude, for getting involved. I'm just saying I wouldn't want to be responsible.
The wife there saying about Blackpool, it's not supposed to be shared out to Blackpool. It's supposed to be shared out to the area that we live in, because it's the veterans in my area that I need to get hold of.
Yeah. And it's a worthy cause, folks. I mean, I have the utmost respect for veterans. They give what they can to their country, and they're all too often forgot. That's true not only here in America, but in the UK where Bear's at too. So,
yeah. They're obviously a stoic bunch, and trying to get them to do something because they tend to have the attitude of "don't bother me, I won't bother you" kind of thing. And it's like, well, come on, guys, you served your country. You'll be pushed to the front of the queue for most things, believe it or not. And you have all these organizations that want to assist you in lots of different ways, jobs, financial stuff, family stuff, mental health stuff, getting them to try and do it is proving difficult.
Speaking of veterans, hey, Pat, how you doing?
What's going on, Pat? How are you anyway, Bloodwing?
Oh, well, as the title says, it's been one of those days where I just want to go back to bed and start over. We've all had those days, right? I mean, minutes after you get up, you're like, okay, I want to start over. Hey, baby, Mama Minnie's in the chat, my daughter.
Hey, sister. From
and she's a veteran as well. So, hey.
There she is.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't been up mere seconds before the old woman was crawling up my butt over something stupid. Because I hadn't put my clothes away that she folded on the dryer, and I hadn't put them where they belonged yet. And she overheard your and I's conversation behind the scenes when I said, my goal is to get to those dishes sometime this week, because I'm not going to next week, because I'll, have surgery. And she interpreted it as I was going to do them yesterday, and I didn't do them yesterday. So she was all mad, and you know how women get when they're not talking to you, but they want you to know they're not talking to you.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they make it pretty obvious they're not talking to you. So yeah.
Yeah, a certain someone out of the chat there was like that with me the other day.
Yeah.
So I ain't chasing your bullshit.
Look, if you're not going to talk to me, just don't talk to me. Don't make it obvious. You know, you're just dying for me to realize that you're not talking to me. You know, and then you ask them what's wrong. Is it? I don't want to talk about it. Yes, you do, or you wouldn't have made it so obvious. Come on.
Yep.
And then I go pick up the grandkids. I was telling you earlier. Now my two granddaughters, especially the older one, is all mad at me because they were pitching a fit and misbehaving. I usually don't have to get on those two. They're generally pretty well behaved for me, anyway.
Mm.
And the oldest one got in, threw her backpack, threw her phone, throwing stuff all over the car. And I'm like, and as hard as she can, too. She was rearing back and throwing it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't yell, but I got pretty firm, like, no, that's not going to fly. And she kept doing it. I said, are you listening to me? Am I being clear enough? You're going to stop. Yes. So she was mad at me, wouldn't say she loved me when she got out of the car. I'm like, good grief, what is it with today? Is it a full moon?
You should have folded the clothes up, mate, and put them away.
I know it. I did when I got home. Did it in such a way that she was sure to see me doing it too.
Yeah. Did you huff and puff in every action that you did?
I don't have to. I limp so badly that it comes out a stomp even when I don't want it to. So yeah, if I put any speed to my walk at all. So yeah, I walked around as fast as I'm capable.
You should have done what teenagers do when they get in a huff. You know, you should have grabbed the clothes and gone, and then walked, you know, to where, you know, walked towards the bedroom and gone, and then just did that of every action that you took.
Yeah. I'm not sure why you're asking that question about my granddaughters, Campbell. The oldest one's only 11, so.
Yeah, he's being a dirty bastard.
Yeah, walk carefully. Well, you say what you want about me, but yeah, you say something inappropriate about my granddaughters, it's a good way to get timed out. I don't time out often, but.
Oh, Campbell, what the fuck's wrong with you?
Oh, he's just being edgy.
Yes, he is.
But yeah, it's just been one of those days. You know, we all have them. Just
it's true.
Start over. So.
Oh, dear. So what's going on, man? What's up with today's show? What do we have?
Well, I've got a couple of stories.
Yeah,
we can talk about. Most of it's just more of the same that we've had lately.
Yeah, tell me about it.
You know, and I really don't want to revisit it a lot. You know, it's New Zealand, and all the different angles of that. And
yeah, it hasn't stopped really. And you've still got tons and tons of lefties on Twitter calling everybody Nazis. Oh, the right wing this, the right wing that, blah de blah de blah.
They even called Jack, who runs Twitter, a Nazi. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, there was that friggin' guy who screenshot all the accounts that PewDiePie followed, you know, and said that these are a bunch of Nazis.
That cuck boy is the farthest thing from a Nazi there is.
Yeah, Boogie was in the list as well, and he got called a Nazi.
Oh man,
yeah,
it's just, and Lacey Green got called a Nazi. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's been completely fucking retarded. It really has.
That person has some real mental issues.
Yeah, Kit O'Connell.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Gonzo journalist. He, him, disabled. Yeah, you got that right. Yeah. Queer, polyamorous, proud, anti-fascist. Yeah, we can tell.
Yeah. Well, why don't you go out and punch a Nazi, and one of these days, one of them's going to punch you back.
Yeah, we'll see how far you go with that, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. Satsu and I were having a little bit of a conversation on Twitter about that yesterday, because he was saying, you know, what happens when one of these guys hits you back? You know, do you think you're going to do that and get away with it forever? And I said, well, obviously, these people haven't grown up in the hood like some of us have.
Mm-hmm.
Because where I'm from, I guarantee you walk up and punch somebody, you're going to get punched back if they don't pull a gun and shoot your butt.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't do it, you morons. Stupid.
Yeah, the guy is just completely retarded. There's a thought that's been going around in my head now all day, and I haven't said it on Twitter because I'm a bit concerned about being arrested because a few people have been arrested in England for naughty things. But there can never be. I need to reword this. There cannot be any honest discourse between left and right until the left start getting outraged for all terror attacks and not just picking and choosing.
Oh, just a moment. Congrats, Maddie. She's on her way to the new home.
Oh, good.
So good job. Wish you luck.
Mm.
Yeah. We'll cover some of that stuff. Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, these friggin' lefties, man, they only seem to get annoyed when Muslims get killed.
Yeah,
they're not bothered about the thousands of Christians that have been massacred in Africa.
Oh, right. Right. Yeah.
You know, and their own people being massacred. You know, in terror attacks. You know, 7/7, 9/11, friggin' the Manchester Arena bombing. You know, where little girls were blown up.
Yeah.
You know, it's disgusting.
The thing that one of the things that just really blows my mind is you know, they're all over the vice president, and his name slipped my mind. Oh my gosh, he used to be our governor. How could I forget his name? Pence.
Mike Pence.
Yeah, Pence. They're all over him because he's a Christian and doesn't believe in homosexuality, you know, and they're always taking digs at him and all that. And at other Christians, but yet Muslims, they're all for the Muslims. Let's not hate the Muslims, and they throw them off the roof.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes no sense. It just makes no sense. Yeah, thank you. I can't believe I forgot his name. He literally used to be the governor of Indiana before he was vice president. That's where Trump pulled him from. Oh, my memory. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, these people make me sick. And hello, Grisella.
Yeah.
I hope you're well. I saw some of your most recent work this morning on Monkey in the Morning. It's very good. I liked it very much.
Oh, yeah. Very talented. Grisel's very talented.
Mm.
I'm just waiting for the day that I get a comic book cover made of it like the Lords of the Night Crew do. You know, I guess I'm not big enough for that yet.
Was that a little passive aggressive dig at Grisella?
Maybe. Maybe. And yes, Zombie Teddy, I had no complaints about Pence whatsoever while he was governor. None. But yeah, there we have it. News. What did I have for news? I tried to mix it up a little bit. I didn't want to go all politics, and I didn't want to go all other stuff. But I thought we'd start with this one. Washington woman who shoved friend off bridge pleads guilty.
Well, good.
Yeah. Wait to hear why.
Go on then.
Oh, and there's pictures. Good grief. A Washington woman pleaded guilty Monday to pushing her 16-year-old friend from a bridge at a popular swimming area last year. Taylor Smith, 19, pleaded guilty to misdemeanor reckless endangerment in Clark County District Court, the Columbian reported. Prosecutors recommend no jail time when Smith is sentenced later this month. Smith pushed Jordan Hogerson off at Moulton Falls, northeast of Vancouver, on August 7th. Video posted on YouTube that went viral shows Hogerson being pushed. She done it for a YouTube video. Hogerson broke 6 ribs and punctured her lungs in a fall of over 50 feet. In an interview on Good Morning America, Smith said she didn't consider the repercussions. You think? Outside the courtroom, Janelle Hogerson said she and her daughter want this chapter of their lives to be over. Short article, but I thought, really?
So they did it for views then?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. According to the pictures, I don't think the girl that was shoved knew it was coming. It came out of nowhere. Let's see if I can get this shared.
So this wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna jump, I'm gonna jump, I'm gonna jump. Oh, off you go then, bye. She was just straight up pushed off.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
So was she stood there oohing and ahhing about it?
I don't know. They were standing on the bridge. I get the feeling from reading. I read another article on it too. That it was kind of like this is an area that people sometimes jump from.
Yeah.
And she was maybe thinking about jumping, and the girl just pushed her.
So it's like when you're by the pool with your mates, and one of them comes along and pushes you along because you're taking too long to get off the bloody bit to jump in.
Right. But a 50-foot drop, if you're not prepared and you don't fall right, you're going to hurt yourself.
Oh, yes, you are.
And that's what happened to this girl. She wasn't prepared for it. It looks like she belly flopped. Like,
yeah, that's not good.
Yeah. I mean, back in my teenage days, we used to drive up to up north of here and out in the country and go to some old gravel pits. One of them was called the L Hole. These weren't strip pits. These were the chiseled out sheer wall pits. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
And we would go down there and go and do some cliff diving because they were all full of water. Of course, it was highly illegal to be in there and whatnot. But yeah, we'd go down there as teenagers and cliff dive, and which is dangerous anyway. I remember one time we did it, and I had just jumped off, and then the guy after me jumped off the same way I did, but he jumped a little further out and landed on a ledge that was only about 5 feet under the water. Darn near broke his feet.
Oof.
Like, ow. But yeah.
Yeah.
Kids, come on. And they want to lower the voting age to 16. Come on. This is what kids do. Are you kidding me?
You know, when I was in phase 2 training for the Navy, the PTI, the physical training instructor, had us all trying to get us all pencil dive off the diving board. And it's one of those. It's not a board. It's like a platform that you jump off, and it's quite high. And one of the lads kind of panicked as he fell forward, and he belly flopped.
Oh!
And when he got out of the water, all the veins like in his body burst, and like he was just bright red.
Oh, that reminds me of a time. I should probably keep this for a future story time, but. When I was 15, my family and I went to Florida on a little. We borrowed my uncle's Winnebago, motorhome, and drove around Florida for a week. And we were stopped at a campsite that had a pool, a chlorine pool in it with diving boards. And I was diving off. I'm 15,
Mm-hmm.
And I noticed my dad wouldn't dive off the diving board, and he could swim. I'm like, Dad, why don't you? He says, I can't dive. Oh, come on. Diving's not hard. You just do this, when you hit the water. And it was good 12 feet of water where the diving board was. And I egged him until he finally got up there and done it. When he come up, his face was covered in blood.
Oh.
He smacked the bottom of the pool face first. I felt so bad. He's like,
yes, blood vessels, not veins. You know what I fucking meant, Campbell? Shut up.
It's like, I'm sorry I asked you. I never asked him to dive after that again. He sinks like a rock.
I used to quite like going swimming.
I used to too. I'm weird. I don't like to swim in natural bodies of water. Ponds and lakes and rivers, because I never liked the feeling of not knowing what's in the water with me.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
But I did like to swim, and I was a pretty strong swimmer. Actually used to be on the water polo team for a little while. The little guy that I was, you can imagine I got the short side of it. But yeah. All right. Here's a story. It's been making its rounds. The subject's been making its rounds on Twitter, and it's kind of in the public consciousness, and it always comes up every election cycle. Elizabeth Warren says she wants to eliminate the Electoral College.
Oh yeah, I've seen people talking about this on Twitter again today.
Every election cycle, it always comes up.
Of course it does.
Ever since it started in the 1780s, I think it's been controversial. Democratic presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren said she supports eliminating the U.S. Electoral College during a town hall broadcast on Monday night. Every vote matters, and the way we can make that happen is that we can have national voting. And that means get rid of the Electoral College, Warren told an audience at the historically black college, Jackson State University in Mississippi. Warren's statement on CNN came after an audience member asked the Massachusetts senator about voting rights and so-called voter suppression laws. I believe we need a constitutional amendment that protects the right to vote for every American citizen and make sure that vote gets counted. We got laws concerning all that. It's all
so
made up.
Is she looking to get rid of winning by state then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, she said we need to put some federal muscle behind that, and we need to repeal every one of the voter suppression laws that is out there. And by voter suppression laws, folks, I'm pretty sure she means those that require ID. Somehow that is seriously. They say the laws that require ID are against minorities.
Haven't you got like 11 million illegal Mexicans walking around right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, so ID.
Exactly.
Get your friggin' ID.
Yeah, like it's somehow harder for minorities to get an ID than the rest of us. No, it's
but they have to get ID for everything else.
Yeah. There's no reason why anybody shouldn't have ID. I think we've had this conversation before on this stream, but there's absolutely zero reason why any adult person should not have ID of some sort. If you don't have a driver's license, it's just as easy to go down and get a picture ID, which is valid in your state.
But you need like ID for everything.
Yeah.
To get a job.
Yeah.
To friggin', well, I don't know how it works with your healthcare, but presumably, like, you know, to get the insurance, you need to have some kind of ID.
Absolutely. Yeah, but it's racist to require ID.
Yeah, because it's racist for them to say that.
I know.
As if all brown people can't afford to get ID.
Yeah. Warren said she also supports a new flag for Mississippi, which is the only state to have Confederate imagery on it. The Mississippi state flag's use of a Confederate battle emblem was legally challenged in 2017, but the Supreme Court declined to hear the case.
Campbell say you don't need an ID for a job in America. You do here. You need to prove that you're eligible to work in the UK over here.
Yeah. Yeah, and Pat has the point. They want those laws gone because they want to have illegals voting.
And a national insurance number. And presumably over in America, you need a social security number as well as ID.
Yeah, I've never applied for a job that they didn't take pictures of both my social security card and my pictured driver's license. You know.
Campbell's saying different, but every job I've ever applied for and got onto the application stage, I've had to provide ID. Had to.
I don't know, but the Electoral College, this comes up every time there's an election cycle, every time, and it probably always will be. I really don't see us ever doing away with it, no matter how much people want to. And there's good reason why. And one of the things I'm seeing on Twitter being thrown out is, well, you don't believe in democracy then. I believe in a republic, because that's what the United States is. It's not a strict democracy. It is a democratic republic. And there's a difference. There's an absolute difference.
What is the difference?
Well, in a republic, then different your states and all of that have a voice. Have a voice. That's the biggest difference, and it's represented by a Senate and a House. You know, rather than each individual.
Mm.
There's a big reason why I don't want to see. And when I was younger, it didn't make sense to me. But as I grew older, I started to see the sense in it. I don't want to see the Electoral College done away with. Is without the Electoral College, and if we went to a straight, just one person, one vote thing, there are 6 states out of the 50 in the United States that would win every time. That would rule the other 44.
Yeah, as far as I know, as you know, I'm not big on American politics. I don't know everything, but the Electoral College is there to prevent the tyranny of the majority.
I live in what's termed a flyover state. You know, we don't. But with the Electoral College, my little flyover state has at least some say. And here's the thing: the delegates to the Electoral College, nothing says that they have to vote with the rest of the people in the delegation. Now, they most often do. But say, for instance, in this last presidential election, there was at least 3 states, I looked it up, that their Electoral College delegates divided their votes up between 3 candidates. You know, so it can happen. If you want the Electoral College to vote for your candidate, tell them to run a better campaign.
That's the only reason why this topic comes up. It's because they lose.
Well, here's the thing. They got nothing to worry about, Bear. If you look back through American politics, it's a cycle.
Yeah, the pendulum swings back and forth, just as it does here.
Always. You can go back as far as at least FDR, who made the biggest attempt to be king, you know, running for a 4th term. Don't get me started on FDR. But it's always swung back and forth. In fact, I can predict now that the next election cycle, even if it's not Trump, will go to a Republican candidate. Then after that, we'll get 2 terms of a Democrat president. And then it'll go back to Republican. And that's the way it works every time. So if they're just patient, it'll come back around. It always does.
Yeah. Fairly standard. It's because they can't stand the idea of another term of Trump. That's because they know they're going to lose as well.
Yeah. The only reason that they could want the Electoral College gone is because it's not working for them this last cycle.
Yep.
But it has in the past. I mean, that's how we get these Democrat presidents like Obama. You know? You know, Pat says, you know, what would be funny as heck, though, is if they did away with the Electoral College and they lose the popular vote. Yeah, that would be funny, but not likely to happen. Because the high population centers, and I don't think I can remember all 6 of the state, but there's that would be the big rulers. There's California, New York, Texas, Michigan, Florida, and I'm forgetting some, and I can't remember. I'd have to go back and look at it. But there's 6 of them that would, and they all vote blue. Every one of them are blue states. I don't want my country run by a system that is going to guarantee one party winning every stinking time.
Yeah.
I don't want that, you know. And I don't see how any thinking person would want that. But it always comes up. It always comes up.
Yeah, they don't care, though. They don't care about a fair vote.
No, they're still butt sore about losing the last election.
Who's this? I forget the chap's name. There's a Democrat that a lot of people seem to be liking. Asian fella, really big on free speech, especially when it comes to the internet. What's his name? Wang something?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Been hearing good things about him.
Cigar chomping penguin. You're right. You're right. Texas is red, but it's turning more and more blue. It's almost purple now. Some of its high population centers are blue.
Andrew Yang, that's it. Thank you. Thank you. I've been hearing good things about him.
Yeah.
Is it likely that he would win the Democratic primary, or?
I don't know. It's just as likely for anybody. From the indications from the people that have announced that they're running, I look at that and I'm like, I don't see anybody really standing out to me as being apart from the pack. You know, I don't know. I haven't paid that much attention to it, Bear. The time that I start to really pay attention to it is when the primaries come around, and that's when it gets hilarious because they all eat each other. It is hilarious.
I'm looking forward to watching it. If not for the entertainment value, you know.
Yeah. Reason Vision says Andrew Yang is anti-gun as far as he's seen.
I've not heard that.
True. I don't know.
The people that have told me good things about, oh my God, somebody made Six Hexen Hammer a black woman. ADHD, I'm sorry. I just want to share this with you. Or that actually may be somebody.
Oh my gosh. I was just sent a map. Okay, I'm going to try to screen share this from my Twitter that shows a map. It's half of the U.S. population lives in these counties. This is why we have an electoral college, and it really shows it. So let's see if I can get back to screen share. If I can pick the right tab, you big dummy. Come on.
We'll get there at some point today.
Yeah. All right.
There we go.
Can y'all see that? Look at them little dots of blue.
And that's where the majority comes from.
Yep.
Yeah.
So do you really want them little bitty dots of blue ruling what the whole rest of the country?
It's hardly representative, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want that. You don't want just a couple of friggin' states ruling everything else.
Yeah.
You should present yourself, by the way, Bloodwing, when you do that.
Oh, sorry. Didn't realize I hadn't, but hopefully everybody got a good look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why I'm for an electoral college. Like I said, when I was younger and trying to make sense of it, I'm like, yeah, that don't make sense. I don't understand this. Why, you know? But as I've got older, yeah.
Could always try divide it. You could always try doing it by constituency rather than state, like how we do it.
Data says he's blue and he'll take care of me. You know, and I don't want to give the wrong impression. I'm not anti-Democrat. I'm not. One of my best friends was a Democrat, and she was a woman that I worked with at the limo company I worked with, and she would come in only on Saturdays to help out in the dispatch office. And as cashier, my office was attached to theirs. And we would spend Saturdays just having the biggest conversations. We never fought. We never went away mad. We just talked, you know. And this woman is so Democrat that her favorite picture was a picture of her with Obama. You know, I'm not anti-Democrat at all. What I am is anti-stupid. And that goes for any Democrat, Republican, or anything in between. If you've got stupid ideas and if you're way out in left or right field, screw you.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree, mate.
And you're right, Pat. today's generation doesn't understand the importance of it. They really don't. Honestly, I'm not sure that they even teach it. You know, having grandkids and seeing what they learn in school, I'm like, don't they teach you this or that? I'm amazed, especially history wise, what they don't teach our kids. And one of the defining moments for me is just a few years ago, my son's girlfriend at the time is no longer his girlfriend, thank goodness. But his girlfriend at the time had graduated high school and did not know we had a civil war in America.
That's worrying.
That's more than worrying.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, what do they teach in school?
Not your history, apparently.
Evidently not. Of course, it was different when I went to school. Shoot, by fourth grade, I was getting taught Indiana history. So I had to learn all about my state, you know, and everything, how it started and all the battles in it. And there were a lot of battles in my state. It was very pivotal, especially during the Indian Wars. Our state's named Indiana for a reason. At one time, there were more different tribes in the state of Indiana than there were anywhere else in the nation.
Yeah.
That's changed since, of course, although there are a couple that still live here. But
do they own casinos?
I don't think so, although we do have several casinos in Indiana. We passed that law quite a while back.
That's kind of messed up if they're not learning about your history.
Yeah, I just don't know what they take. Of course,
what are they teaching them then?
I don't know. Of course, it all started for me when they stopped teaching them how to write in cursive. Well, we don't need cursive anymore. How are you going to sign your name? Jesus, criminy people.
They're teaching them LGBT history, probably.
Yeah, probably. Cigar Chomping Penguin says, I'm 32, and by the time I graduated from high school, history class was all about slavery, Nazis, and nothing else. Thanks, New Jersey. Yeah. And that's important to me. If you don't know, Bear knows this, if you don't know, I'm a history nut. I love history. History is my porn. You know,
he's a strange person, by the way, people. Just
I could watch historical documentaries every minute of every day and be perfectly happy. Love it.
Well, they are interesting.
Bores my wife silly. But me and Mama Minnie takes after me in that respect. My daughter that's in the chat, she likes watching them with me. But yeah, I love history, you know, and to find out that they're not teaching history like they ought to in our schools just drives me bananas. So yeah, it's no wonder kids today don't understand it. Yeah.
You need to know your history. You need to know it.
Yeah. I mean, there's an old saying, and I know it's an old saw, but it does hold true. Those that forget history are doomed to repeat it.
Yep.
And there's a lot of stuff in history we don't want to repeat, people.
I would say more than half of these morons calling everyone Nazis don't even know what a Nazi even is.
Well, I forget who it was in the chat, but somebody said, as far as I knew, we killed off or captured all the Nazis in World War II. And he has a point. These ones calling themselves Nazis today, and it's a pretty small group, people. You know, all this talking about, oh, white supremacy. It's the biggest problem in the world right now. Look at New Zealand. Oh, my God. No, it isn't. They're just a really small group. They really are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the stats on that are freely available on the internet. Look it up. Very small, in the thousands, not even the tens of thousands.
Some great history videos on YouTube. I recommend people go watch. You know, there's a History Hub and there's the Alternate History Hub as well. Both very good channels.
RJ Banzan says, don't the left act like Nazis? In some respects, some of them do, because they're very controlling. They want to control everything. They want to control the media, because if you don't say what they want them to, they want to deplatform you and shut you down, you know. And we know the Nazis were famous for book burning,
Yeah,
you know, and controlling the media.
history revisionists to suit the narrative, which is funny. That's what the left are doing these days.
Data asked me if I know who Smedley D. Butler, a retired United States Marine Corps Major General, is. That name does ring a bell, but at the moment I'm not able to put a reason why to it. My head gets so full. My head is full of so much useless trivia. Sometimes it all gets lost in there.
Hold on a second, Campbell. I'll get you those two history channels. They're actually a pair of brothers. One does the like normal history, and one does the alternative history.
Yeah.
And they're both really interesting. Let's get it for you. I get the alternate history hub, which is the first one. That one's really good. The guy is actually writing a book right now as well. This weird, man, because those brothers, they sound almost identical in their voices. And of course, here's the other one's called Knowledge Hub. There you go. And of course, if you look at the front of their channels, you can see channels that they recommend, and they have a bunch of other channels you can go check out as well.
Real quick, thank you, Pumpkin Trucker, for the donation. They're teaching so little history that kids don't even realize that the people who screamed we're on the right side of history aren't. Yeah.
I think
you do know that the Nazis felt. You do know that the Nazis felt they were on the right side of history. Yeah.
I find it funny that all these people call themselves anti-fascists.
Yeah, I don't think they understand what a fascist is.
No, they don't.
You know?
No, they don't.
Because they sure want to control everything. If it's not the way they think and speak, then they want to control it and hide it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a fascist society does.
You know, I'm friends with Bronx, right? I am friends with him. I do like the guy, but sometimes, man,
more power to you. I couldn't do it. I've seen the things that guy says. I've watched some of his videos. In fact, I think I might have a long time ago done a video on one of his videos. I'm not real sure. I forget. But yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Not with him.
I just remember getting into an argument with him over somebody that had been called a fascist or whatever. I think I might have called someone a fascist. And it was like, well, you know, they need to fit this list of, you know, attributes to be considered a fascist. I was like, well, they don't need to fit all of them to be considered fascistic. They need to fulfill two or more to be considered fascistic, you know. And I pointed that out to him. He didn't like that.
I've just always wondered if his employer is aware that he's making YouTube videos on their dime.
Does he still do that from work?
I don't know. I haven't seen one of his videos in a long time. And I'm not advocating letting his employer know, folks. It's not what Bloodwing's saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just curious. Because in a lot of his earlier videos, you could tell he was in a guard shack in a truck lot.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Fascism is a militaristic, authoritarian ideology that usually picks out a group of people, well, usually a group of people, and, you know, kind of makes them the enemy. You know, and pushes that idea through propaganda. That's why, like Starship Troopers, for example, is often considered fascistic, because they have that kind of enemy, a joint enemy to unify the people with, you know,
right.
And they propel the idea through propaganda, and of course they're militaristic as well. But it's not fascistic.
One of my favorite movies is a great example of what a fascist society is like. And that's V for Vendetta. And it's one of my favorite movies because it was one of my favorite comic book series. I used to have the comic book series, the original, before all my comics got stolen. I had over 4,000 comic books stolen at one time, folks.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, right?
That's a lot of money down the tubes.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what some of those comics would be worth today.
That's a good movie as well.
Excellent movie. Love that movie. And it's a good example of what a fascist society is like.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Total control of the people.
Yeah.
They have a unified. I keep thinking the word victimization keeps coming in my head, but it's not the right word. The vilification of entire groups of people.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of fear-driven, very militaristic, total police-controlled state. Very isolationist as well.
My favorite part of that whole movie is towards the end, where he sticks the metal down the front of his shirt and they're all shooting at him.
Oh, yeah.
And then he says, "My turn."
Yeah, and then he
I'm like, oh, this is great. Love that line. I love this line.
Ruins them all.
Oh, love that movie. I could watch it over and over and half.
Ideas are bulletproof.
Yeah.
I love the fact that he's so strong he can snap that guy's neck.
Maddie's got another great example for Fahrenheit 451. If you've never read the book, do so. And the old movie out of the 50s, I think, maybe 60s, was pretty good too. Very good.
I've not read the book, Kyla, of Starship Troopers. But I got really mad when I looked at my sub feed and I saw Wisecrack talking about fascist society when it came to Starship Troop, and I was just like, oh no, Sargon's going to make a video, and within about 10 minutes he had.
Yeah, yeah, in case you're not aware, and probably everybody is, I'm probably wasting my time here, but Fahrenheit 451 is a very good book. It's about a time in the future where books are illegal. Fahrenheit 451 is the temperature at which paper combusts. And that's why he gave it that title. Very good book. Very good. Of course, Ray Bradbury is one of my favorite authors. But
hello, governors. What's going on, Demon Man?
All right. Have we beat on that enough? Let's see. Did you have something while I'm looking for something else?
Not yet. No. None of those examples are exclusively fascist. No, but when you put them together, they are.
Yeah. Oh, here's one. You know, an episode's not an episode unless we at least do something on Miss Muleteeth. Remember me reading the article the other day about the controversy about her funding? It's been maybe a week or two ago.
Yes.
Alexandria Cortez delisted from Board of Justice Democrats after controversy. Representative Alexandria Cortez, Democrat, New York, reportedly has been delisted from the board of left-wing activist group Justice Democrats following legal and ethical questions about her affiliation with the group. The Daily Caller reported that Alexandria Cortez, along with Chief of Staff and former campaign chair Sekat, oh, I hate these long names, Sekat Chakrabarti. Too many consonants, people. Come on. Have been removed from the board of the Political Action Committee after previously holding legal control over the entity in late 2017 and early 2018. The Daily Caller had reported earlier this month on Alexandria Cortez and Chakrabarti's role with the PAC, noting that the congresswoman never disclosed to the Federal Election Commission that they controlled the PAC while it was simultaneously supporting her primary campaign. Former FEC officials said at the time this could represent violations of campaign finance laws. It was Justice Democrats that helped catapult Alexandria Cortez from obscurity to an upset primary win over then Representative Joe Crowley to an election win in November. The group runs a recruitment program by which activists can nominate grassroots candidates for office to challenge incumbent Democrats, and Alexandria Cortez gave her support to that push in a video in January. The group has also backed her on issues such as Medicare for All and the Green New Deal.
I'll be back in a second, mate.
Okay, the caller reports that Ocasio-Cortez and Chakrabarty took control of Justice Democrats in December 2017 until Ocasio-Cortez was removed from the board in June 2018, though she was kept on as an entity governor, whatever that is, until last week. Both Ocasio-Cortez and Chakrabarty were only officially removed from the board on March 15th, according to documents obtained by the outlet, almost 8 months after attorneys had said she was removed. The development is the latest in the controversy surrounding the left-wing firebrand's campaign. Earlier this month, Ocasio-Cortez and Chakrabarty were accused in an FEC complaint of violating campaign finance laws by funneling nearly $1 million in contributions from PACs, including Justice Democrats, to private companies also controlled by Chakrabarty. Although large financial transfers from PACs to private LLCs are not necessarily improper, the complaint urges that the goal of the extensive scheme was seemingly to dodge detailed reporting requirements of the Federal Election Campaign Act of 1971, which are designed to track campaign expenditures. The complaint was drafted by the conservative Virginia-based National Legal and Policy Center and alleged that the pair appeared to have orchestrated an extensive off-the-books operation to make hundreds of thousands of dollars of expenditures in support of multiple candidates for federal office. Her office denied wrongdoing. There is no violation, Ocasio-Cortez told Fox News after the report was filed. Asked if the complaint showed she was connected to dark money during the campaign, Ocasio-Cortez replied, no. Chakrabarty also defended the setup on Twitter, saying we were doing something totally new. Yeah, which meant a new setup. So we were transparent about it from the start. So yeah, looks like that group's severing ties, maybe for the optics, or this could be something that Ocasio-Cortez herself wants, put as much distance between them as she can and herself.
Yeah, there, mate.
Yeah. I was just getting ready to say, whoever got, I don't know, however many minutes it's been now, you're the winner because I got to go.
Not even an hour.
No, I'll be right back.
Alrighty. What's going on, chat? I hope you're well. Just a quick reminder, guys, you want to support Bloodwing, support Redneck Radio, you can do so by dropping a like on the stream. I'm sure he'd really appreciate it. You can also do so by sharing it to your favorite social media platforms, Twitter, Discord, all that good stuff. And if you want to go one step further, donate to the old man via Super Chat or via Streamlabs or Patreon. Links are in the description. How's your Yoda? I don't do Yoda impressions, RJ. Incredibly random. Look up Forbidden Bookshelf. It might be some content for you to talk about. I will. Exactly 52 minutes. Fuck me, less than an hour. That's on pace with me. That Peter, if you're going to the toilet like that quick, there's something wrong. Because he's an old man. He's 59 on Friday. Damn, overshot it. But usually he makes it past the hour mark, but not today. Of course, I have a little shill of myself, guys, after the stream. I had a brand new video over on Irate Alex today. I did a collaboration with Viper Sword, where we had a look at the second Aladdin trailer, the live action trailer. Make sure you go give that a wee watch over on Irate Alex. AOC, dumber than rocks dipped in acid. Do they fight over crab's legs in the UK? What the fuck? No, but our fishermen do get into big scraps in the channel with French fishermen, and we usually kick the shit out of them as well. And what happened last time? There were 40 of them and 3 of ours, and they shit themselves. I'm sure there are many programs for adult illiterates. Fuck you, Jack. Depends on when he peed before he started. Probably. Happy birthday, Best. Not my birthday yet, Sarah. My birthday's on Thursday. Will he be on a GPP birthday stream? There is no GPP birthday stream. Well, for me anyway. we're having Redneck Radio on my channel on Thursday. We're gonna have a joint birthday stream for a couple of hours. We'll have a few guests, guesty westies on, and I hope you'll join us.
Yeah.
Demon Law says, "Hi, Irate. You did good on Drunkle yesterday, shitting on him during GBP game." Well, I do have to get my my kicks in from time to time, you know. Totally fair.
Did you give the shill out? I haven't done that yet.
I have
to like and share and all that. Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yes, like and share the stream, people. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't think that was ever going to stop. You ever just stand there at the toilet like, come on, anytime now, you can stop.
Yeah, that happened to me last night, actually. Oh, come on, get a turn on. Sometime today.
Oh, okay. So I'm back. Bladder's empty. So I'm much more comfortable. And that's all probably more than any of you wanted to know, right?
I'm sure they don't mind.
Yeah, well, I am who I am.
They're animals, mate.
I was raised in a household where stuff like that wasn't taboo. You know, you talked about your poop. You know, God, as I got older, Mom was talking to me about her sex life with Dad. Not that I wanted to hear that, but she was talking to me about it. So I was raised in a house where that stuff wasn't taboo to talk about, you know. So.
Oh, Pat, I actually saw this video yesterday, actually. I think it was this one. Actually, no, it wasn't this one. Oh, we'll definitely have that then.
You got something?
I got something, yeah. And your boy Pat just sent me something, but I also have another article after that. Massive brawl erupts over crab legs at Chinese buffet in Queens. A massive caught-on video brawl over crab's legs.
Oh, I heard about this on Bob and Tom. Yeah, go ahead.
This looks pretty interesting. Are they that good? A massive caught-on video brawl over crab's legs erupted inside a Chinese buffet in Queens last month after one diner accused another of being a privileged white bitch, according to patrons and a victim involved. God damn. The wild incident unfolded inside of the Queen's Buffet Eatery on Atlantic Avenue in Ozone Park on February 23rd at around 7 p.m., police said. So it's happened last month then. A victim who would only identify herself as Christine, 39, told the Post Thursday that the melee started when her 10-year-old son was waiting at the buffet for crab's legs and another woman pushed him with her hip. Oh. I was like...
Hip check.
Yeah. I was like, can you please do me a favor? I would appreciate it if you kept your hands off my child. And the mother comes over and she was like, you already had the first 2 batches, Christine said. I said, listen, he's 10 years old. He's going to grab maybe 6 or 7 and we're leaving. We're going to keep it moving. And she turns around and she goes, privileged white bitch. And that's when everybody came over and started screaming. Said Christine, who is white. Restaurant customer Donna Brown captured the large fight in a Facebook live video. Stop streaming these things to Facebook. Stream them to YouTube. There's money on YouTube. Listen, y'all, I had to come out here to let y'all see this. I'm in a buffet and they are fighting over crab's legs. In the 10-minute video Brown posted to Facebook, a band of people can be heard shouting before the fracas breaks out near the buffet. Craziness. Brown says that the scuffle continues. They're throwing glass around. This is getting real now. I would show the video, but videos don't translate well through Google Hangouts.
Yeah, they don't. They don't. From what I heard on Bob and Tom, they were using the tongs as swords.
Oh,
swords like the tongs.
That's hilarious. Oh yeah, people getting chucked on the floor and being punched and all kinds of shit. I'll have to watch that video after the stream.
Over crab leg. There must be some really good crab legs.
I hope they are. I really hope they are. Good grief. What the fuck's that? What? There's something playing in my ears. Where's it coming from?
I don't know.
Oh, there it is. There it is. It's in Newsweek. I hate that. You know when you open open up a couple of tabs and one of them starts playing a video or something.
Yeah, or a hidden tab pops up you didn't know popped up and was playing something. Yeah.
I'm like, where is it? Yeah, here's the article that I grabbed off of Reddit. If you want it now.
Yeah, Pat posted the video of this fracas in the chat. So if you all want to see it, you can go over there and click the link. Did you put it in the side chat?
No, I've got it in front of me. I was just waiting for you to.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
It's from Newsweek, mate. Anti-vaccination legislation advocate hospitalized with chickenpox.
Oh yeah.
Well, we don't vaccinate against chickenpox, do we? We just let the kids get it, and then they're vaccinated against it.
Yeah.
Don't we?
What, chickenpox? No, there's a vaccine. There wasn't when I was a kid. I had chickenpox, but
yeah, I did as well. I thought that we just straight up just let your kids get it, and then they were immunized.
Yeah, there is a vaccine now, I do believe.
Oh, okay. I had no idea. I had no idea that there was one. A leading and well, that's even funnier then, isn't it? A leading anti-vaccination legislation figure, a member of Italy's far-right north. Oh my god! I'm going to start again. A leading anti-vaccination legislation figure and member of Italy's far-right Northern League party has been admitted to hospital to be treated for chickenpox. So you're an adult. I thought it's called shingles when you get it as an adult.
Well, it can turn into shingles.
Yeah,
it's pretty much the same virus. It can turn into shingles. And folks, chickenpox is extremely dangerous for adults. Usually it's not a big deal for a kid. You know, I remember when I had them, I was sick one day, but I was out of school for a week because they wouldn't let you back in if you had the marks on you. And drove my mom nuts because all three of it, me and both my sisters all got it at the same time.
Let me ask Vanilla Bear real quick something. Woman, how be vaccinated against chickenpox? No. He's not? No. Why not?
Yeah, folks. If you're an adult, chickenpox can be really dangerous. And that shingle stuff, my dad had it, and my daughter. That's for the birds. That shingle stuff is no joke.
Apparently, my son is not immunized against it. I'll have to get him immunized.
Yeah.
A
kid can usually get through. In most cases, the older of my two sisters, I'm the oldest of the kids, but the older of my two sisters had a rough time with it. But me and my youngest sister, we were sick one day and then running around the house. They just wouldn't let us back into school because we had the scabs on us, you know.
Yeah. I don't remember being immunized against it myself, but then again, you know, I was born in the 80s, you know, so
yeah, shingle. My daughter got it at a pretty young age. Cynical Lindsay, shingles can happen to anybody. It's not just old people. Yeah, and it can be very dangerous and extremely painful.
Yeah, I knew someone who was in their 20s when they got it.
Yeah, but even if it doesn't go to shingles, chickenpox can be very dangerous for an adult.
Yeah.
I knew a fella that, you know, the thing was, if your kid had never had chickenpox, at least in my circle, if your kid had never had chickenpox and they were old enough and somebody you knew's their kid got chickenpox, you might take them over there to get them exposed to it, to get it over with. Right.
Yeah.
Because like I said, for a kid, generally it's not that big deal. Yeah. His kid didn't get the chickenpox. He did. Because he had thought that he had them and he hadn't.
I have heard that about parents doing that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Effectively immunizing them against it.
Yeah. Lots of calamine lotion. Pat, I'm sorry, I don't mean this to sound racist, but I'm thinking of that pink lotion all over that black body that had to look funny.
Sarek says, geez, I've never had it, so I guess I better consider getting vaccinated.
Yeah.
If you're an adult, especially, man, because it's dangerous for adults.
Yeah, it's no joke for an adult. Yeah. But it is kind of
Continue to read.
yeah. Continue to read.
Oh,
Continue.
unless you want to finish what you were saying.
No. You go ahead.
I look like Black Pink Panther.
No reason vision. That's a different disease. Measles is chickenpox is generally not a big deal for a child. Measles can be completely different things. Yeah, go ahead.
Where was that? Yeah, Sarek, just find somebody with kids and then wait for them to get chicken pox, then just visit, and then you'll get it.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce this guy's name. It's very, very Italian. Massimiliano Federiga, who's the president of Italy's northeastern Friuli foreign region, announced his hospital stay on social media. Federiga has previously argued against Italy's Lorenzen decree, named after Beatrice Lorenzi, the Minister of Health who oversaw the policy. The 2017 legislation made vaccination for 10 diseases, including polio and measles, compulsory for all children before they would be allowed to attend school. He admitted he had vaccinated his own children, but says such measures should not be forced on other people. Well, I mean, yeah, they kind of should.
Yeah. It's kind of funny that it happened to an anti-vaxxer.
Yeah,
I mean, it's funny in a really sad sort of way.
Well, he's an adult. What's worse is when it happens to children of anti-vaxxers.
Yeah, because there's much greater threats out there for those kids than chickenpox.
Carla says, "Hell yes, it's dangerous for adults." A guy at work got it as an adult. He was out of work for most of the month, damn near died.
Yeah, it's bad news for a grown-up.
Yeah, so if it's possible, try to get immunized if you can.
Yep.
Or stay the hell away from children or adults with shingles.
Yeah.
The politician is now at home recovering and thanked all those who sent him messages of support and well wishes. Chickenpox is a highly contagious disease that can be deadly in adults. It is caused by the, well done Newsweek for repeating yourself, by the varicella zoster virus, for which there is a vaccine. Oh, there is. Okay. Though it is not 100% effective. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates that it provides complete protection for around 98% of people who receive both recommended doses. That's pretty decent. That's pretty decent. Federiga has denied being explicitly anti-vaccination, but has argued that forcing skeptical parents to inoculate their children is not the best way to win them round. Well, I mean, you have trouble doing it any other way, guy. Come on. Have you seen how some of these people are?
Yeah. Exactly.
I've seen videos of them in court screaming at judges. You know, it's a lot of these people are very, very extremely aggressive, you know, and thanks to them, there's a measles outbreak in America right now.
Yep.
And I guarantee it'll happen here as well, because when America does it, we follow bloody suit.
Yeah. A disease that was ruled dead in the early 2000s. And they've brought it back.
He's a bit young. Well, I don't know what the age recommended ages for chickenpox is. Let me have a look.
I think that I was about 10 or 11.
Chickenpox inoculation. Looking this up now. Okay, kids between 12 and 15. Oh, wait a minute. Between 12 and 15 months old. So it would appear you can have it from a very, very young age.
Yeah.
Just over, as soon as they turn 1.
Yeah.
They receive a booster shot for further protection at 4 to 6. And then again at 6 to 13.
Yeah. Like I said, I knew people that used to take their kids around other kids that were known to have it to try to catch it. Because it is best if you're going to get it over with when you're a kid, because generally it's a breeze for a kid. Now, my one sister, it wasn't. They went down her throat and everything else.
Oh,
she was just miserable. But that's the sister with cerebral palsy, so everything tends to hit her harder than everything else. Everybody else. But
It's kind of funny, isn't it? Because kids and like the elderly tend to be the most vulnerable to these kinds of things. And
yeah,
in this particular circumstance, it's kids that are strongest against it.
yeah. I mean, I'm glad I got it out of the way when I was a kid. I wouldn't want to have to face that now at my age.
Thoughts from the drive regarding illegals and stuff. That's one thing that really pissed me off, especially as a teenager, because we were having Somali migration into the UK, and they were bringing tuberculosis with them.
Yep.
And we all had to be immunized because of them. You know,
I had to have a tuberculosis immunization once.
yeah.
Yeah, when I got arrested.
Is that because like filthy people in prison and stuff?
Yep. They line you up and give you the shot. And let me tell you, that shot hurts.
Yeah.
That one hurts. They must have used, I swear the gauge of that needle was as big around as a nail. It hurt.
You sure there wasn't any vicious intent from the caregiver there?
It could be, you know, where I was at isn't known for being very humanitarian to the prisoners. So, yes, BW's done a little bit of jail time. No more than 3 days, but yeah.
He's a criminal.
No, just a dumb human being like everybody else and make mistakes.
We all make mistakes, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did time in military prison, so I feel yeah.
Yeah.
For a very stupid mistake, an unthinking moment, if you will. What else?
And those are stories that I won't tell you. I keep that one close to the breast. So.
That's fair enough, mate. You don't have to put it all out there.
Cynic says I had to get the TB vaccine before I started my Crohn's treatment. Yeah. Never thought about that, but it kind of makes sense. Yeah.
British Holocaust denier David Irving to lead Nazi death camp tour.
Read that again.
This is from the Times of Israel. British Holocaust denier David Irving to lead Nazi death camps tour.
Okay.
Should I go into further detail or?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, I'm interested to hear what he thinks he's going to accomplish.
Publicity for the $3,650 trip calls the camps "quote unquote" controversial. Understatement of the
Bye, Angela.
century.
Have a good day.
See you later, Angie. Have fun. And describes Irving as a Hitler expert. It's a friggin' understatement calling it controversial, isn't it?
Yeah.
British Holocaust denier David Irving is planning to lead a tour of Nazi death camps. Irving is taking deposits on his website for the tour of Nazi historical sites scheduled for September. The 9-day tour, which costs $3,650, is scheduled to visit Treblinka, Sobibor, Belzec, and Majdanek. They're all foreign. All right, leave me alone. Publicity for the tour calls the death camps "quote unquote" controversial. It also will visit the bunker headquarters of Adolf Hitler, known as the Wolf's Lair, and the headquarters of SS Chief Heinrich Himmler. Irving is described on the promotional material as a Hitler expert. He led a similar tour in 2013. Irving lost a libel suit he brought against Holocaust historian Deborah Lipstadt in 2000. The suit was dramatized in the movie Denial, starring Rachel Weisz as Lipstadt. He initially claimed that Hitler was not aware of the program to exterminate the Jews. Yes, he fucking was, because he literally visited those sites with Himmler. There's pictures of it, and retained his credibility as a historian. Irving later transitioned to outright Holocaust denial, including claiming that there was no evidence to prove the existence of gas chambers at Auschwitz. Never mind the fact that there are buildings that literally have gas chambers in them.
It blows my mind how these Holocaust deniers can deny it. I mean, there's so much evidence. There's a preponderance of evidence. You know, this isn't like a thing that, okay, we found this little pottery shard, so we're making this assumption about their civilization. You know what I mean? There's photographs and there's documentation and radio broadcasts
Yeah.
and the camps themselves.
Yeah. Which had mass graves in them.
Yeah.
There's pictures of it, of Allied soldiers turning up and seeing the just the absolute madness.
It drives me insane.
Fuck you, Duck Dog. Fuck you. Leave me alone. You P Dog Night. Yo, what's up? What's going on, P Dog? Hope you're well, mate.
No, I would never underestimate that, Carrick or Sarek. People are stupid.
Yes, they are.
I understand that. People are stupid.
What Boeing 737 MAX pilots don't have flight simulators and trained on iPads instead?
I just got this vision of getting on an airplane, right? You're going to take a trip. Hi, this is your captain speaking. The weather, blah, 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 and we're going to be flying. Blah, 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 and by the way, I've never really trained in a flight, but I've played the video game. Have a nice flight.
Can you imagine? What?
Oh my gosh. Please read it.
I will. The nature of how pilots are trained has received scrutiny following 2 crashes of the Boeing 737 MAX in a 5-month period, with a report revealing pilots were given 2 hours of tuition on an iPad about the aircraft rather than using the more conventional flight simulators. The relatively new aircraft, the Boeing 737 MAX 8, has suffered issues early in its life cycle due to its problems, which has so far led to 2 crashes in a matter of months. The issues have led to many airlines operating the aircraft to have suspended services as a safety concern. Yeah, no fucking shit. While governments are responding by banning the jet from being used for flights. The safety issues have prompted many to investigate how the crashes may have occurred and how Boeing could fix the problems that have plagued the relatively popular craft. So far, Boeing has 4,600 pending orders for the 737 MAX, which could end up being cancelled if the problems aren't resolved, potentially costing the company billions. In a New York Times report, it is claimed pilots are not necessarily being given adequate training, with concerns pilots are not able to handle new software used on the craft. Investigations into the craft of Ethiopia Airlines. That's a thing, huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Can't feed their people, but they can run an airline.
Yeah, they also have a space program. I just want to point that out. And Lion Air flights suggests software training may well be a problem, including tuition for an automated system to avoid stalling. On the introduction of new models of planes, pilots are usually given training on simulation cockpits that can safely teach how to use new functions of the flight instruments and software while on the ground. It was determined that, at least in the case of the MAX, pilots with prior 737 experience learned about the new plane using an iPad for 2 hours, as well as a 13-page handbook. Is that all?
Folks, look, take it for somebody that's taken ground school. I learned how to fly a plane, and I have flown flight simulators. In fact, I've told the story on this channel of how I crashed one. There's no replacement for an actual flight simulator to give you the feel of what it's like. Now I understand that these people are probably already pilots. They're just training on a new aircraft.
They are.
But they're training on a new aircraft. But still, there is no.
It's
on
an iPad. It's brand new software, you know. And they should really be doing it in a simulator.
Yeah. Real quick. Thank you, Pumpkin Trucker, for the donations. No, I haven't been trained in a simulator, but I did stay at a Holiday Inn last night. You probably don't get that, Bear. That was an old commercial that used to be here in the States.
Oh, okay. Okay, fair enough. Yes, as well as a 13-page handbook of differences between the Max and earlier models. It is claimed Boeing had not managed to get a simulator ready during a time it was trying to get the plane completed and didn't have all the data available. And yes, to quote the Brits, you fucking what, mate?
No kidding.
Yeah, obviously they are, fully trained pilots, and they probably have a decent amount of experience. I can't see, a company not putting their most experienced pilots in brand new planes. However, 2 hours of training and a freaking handbook ain't gonna cut it, folks.
Hey, Omegon, he
it
says,
just
entertain me.
I'm trying, goddammit.
Am I not entertaining? Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? You're
On
right,
an
Meg. How's it going, Meg?
iPad. Oh my God.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Look, I used to work for Federal Express. That's no secret. I've talked about it on many occasions. And I was a ramp agent there. And as a ramp agent, that's like middle management, kind of like. But you're out at the flight. You have to know how to work every piece of machinery on that ramp, including the pushbacks. Okay. I had to learn all of that. I had to learn how to marshal an aircraft, and there's nothing like the feeling of nothing between you and a several thousand, 100,000 pound aircraft, but a couple of flashlights with orange cones on them. Scary.
Yeah.
But anytime we got a new piece of equipment, no matter if you were familiar with the similar ones, you had to go out and fully train on that piece of equipment. And we're just talking about ground loading equipment, not flying the doggone thing.
Yeah. I mean, in the Navy, mate, you get trained to use radar. It's like 8 weeks. And then if you want to train up to do a different job on that radar, you then have to go do like a 4 to 6 week course, which involves simulators. And it involves, it's obviously, on the job kind of stuff as well, the fact that they gave them 2 hours of iPad time, it's just not enough.
Jesus Christ. I was, one of the things at FedEx that I was dangerous goods certified. I was a certified dangerous goods handler, had to be to do my job. That was another thing I had to do. You know how long that class was? 40 freaking hours.
Yeah.
40 hours of talking about dangerous goods. And the first day was just talking about cardboard boxes. I kid you not.
Yeah, I did a health and safety week before. Death by PowerPoint, it really was.
But we did that for, and they're going to give them 2 hours on an iPad to fly a jet. Good Lord.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it. As far as I'm concerned, it really, really isn't.
Not in the least.
I mean, what a forklift course is like 3 days, depending on the type of forklift.
Yeah.
The bigger ones are like 3 days. I think the normal ones are like 2 days.
Oh, I used to drive, not to change it, but I used to drive a forklift that was so big that it bent in the middle. What do you call that?
Huge. Huge lift.
Well, there's a word for that, being able to bend in the middle. I can't remember what it is, but anyway, it was at a sawmill. We used it to pick up logs. But yeah. While we have a little bit of a pause here, again, I want to say please like and share the stream. If you want to help an old man out a little more, you can use Super Chat. If you don't want to give YouTube their 30%, there's also Streamlabs and Patreon links in my description. If you can't, it's all good.
Mr. Dax was Klaus there. I really hope not.
That sawmill was a lot of fun and scary. You've seen pictures in the movies of the great big giant sawmill blades,
Yeah.
That's true.
Well,
because I worked up next to it for a time.
Yeah, I'd be a bit nervous working in that kind of environment.
It's extremely nervous. And I worked just beyond where they would cut it on the big blades, and it would go through a planer, and then it had to go down this big chute, and you would push it one side or the other, and there were people down on the bottom of the chute pulling different pieces of lumber off, right, to stack it and grade it. And I got a little bit too close, and it took my shirt off. My t-shirt ripped it right off. Put a big gash in my side. But
I know it's nowhere near where it can be as dangerous, but it's not so obvious. But and people are going to take the piss. But in basic naval training, you do a week of what's called seamanship. Yeah. Laugh it up. Well, anyway, there's a reason why they do that. Is because dealing with ropes and stuff is actually quite dangerous. And ropes can, like if you stand in a rope bight, for example, it can rip your foot off if something snags it, for example. But I've actually seen it do some damage to a few people over time. One of my bosses got hit by what's called a head rope, and it's a big, thick black rope, and it landed, hit him square in the chest, and luckily for him, the tautness of it let go just after it hit him. If it had carried on, it would have dragged him into the ocean. But probably would have drowned his ass. Megon's laughing, but there's actually a branch in the Navy now called Seaman Specialists. I shit you not. I shit you not.
Bad choice of wording.
Yeah, because when I joined up, or the branches were a bit more amalgamated, then they got separated. And then there was this new Seaman branch. and I told you, didn't I? There was a lad whose surname was Seaman.
Yep.
And the second rank you can achieve, which is like equivalent to a corporal, is leading seaman. So it's like leading seaman, flight deck. So why aren't you still in the Navy? Because I left years ago in 2011. Fuck you, Megon. You dick. I have more news.
You have more news.
I have more news.
You have more news. Well, after you get through with this story, there's a topic that I want to just talk about. And then by then, we might be ready for story time. And I think that I have a treat for you today at story time. So hang in there, folks. Stick around.
Good. This one might tickle you. Lawsuits. Domino's Playboy websites aren't accessible to blind users.
What is this, braille porn?
Yeah, I know, right? In thousands of cases that are testing the limits of the law and cyberspace, businesses are increasingly facing lawsuits that contend their websites aren't accessible to people who are blind and are in violation of federal disability mandates. How do you make a freaking website that is accessible to blind people?
I mean, I get it if it was all text and stuff like that, because you have, things that will translate that to voice, and it can read the website
I know that.
But what's it going to do on a porn site?
I'm fairly sure there's like software for blind people and special laptops and whatnot. So like every time they visit a website, it reads everything on there. Lots of audio. I guess all the naughty sounds makes it accessible. Of course, they might end up watching some, like, I don't know, bisexual porn where there's two guys and one girl, and they might not know that they're watching that. They might just think they're watching a threesome, or not, listening to a threesome, but they're actually watching bisexual stuff or something. Blind people want access like everybody else does. Said Michael Powell of Warren, who has been visually impaired since birth. We have screen reading software, and it doesn't cost a lot of money to make a website accessible. But it's porn! Like, okay, one problem, virtual on-screen click here buttons. If you are blind, you can't see photos or know where to click to indicate a preference or links to another page, and often the site isn't coded. Imagine they click on all the trap porn, they have no idea. Oh, God. Where was I? Indicate a preference or link to another page, and often the site isn't coded so that electronic reader can help you navigate. A lot of developers just don't know how to do it, so they come up with reasons not to, Power65 said. Yeah, because how? How do you do it for porn?
I don't know. A written description of what's in the picture?
Oh God, could you imagine? The text to voice thing isn't exactly sexy.
Yeah.
Oh God. He has just cream pied her. Now he's wiping his dick on her face. Oh God. Oh God. Oh, the plumber has turned up to the house. Shannon doesn't seem too interested in having her washing machine fixed.
Oh, look, it's the pizza delivery boy.
It appears to be pepperoni. Fuck's sake. I have tools to use the internet, but the internet is becoming more closed to me. Well, only in the kind of like porn aspect. I mean, most websites have this kind of thing, you know? Where they read it for you. The controversy about website accessibility for people with disabilities dates back to at least a decade, but it has been mounting as plaintiffs from coast to coast to file an increasing number of lawsuits and companies become digital only. The thinking is that if a business is required to build a ramp so someone in a wheelchair can enter the building, the same kind of virtual accommodation should be made for someone trying to use a website. For some plaintiffs, the desire is only to fix the problem, but others are seeking monetary damages, a payout, and many are ending in confidential settlements. I should hope that they're confidential because
real quick, real quick, Pumpkin Trucker, thank you for the donation. Porn or mac and cheese stirring ASMR? How can you tell?
Yeah, they should just watch ASMR. There's plenty of that shit on YouTube. Even disabled people are feeling entitled. Well, I do feel for them. I do, you know. I mean, the content's there for people to watch, for most part, you know. And people who are disabled get horny too, I guess. I don't know how you deal with this exactly. I have no idea how you approach this. Just get someone to come wank them off.
Yeah.
That'll do.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you would fix that situation. It's not an area where I realized we had a problem.
Yeah, it's not something I ever thought about. I don't know. Does anyone in the chat have a solution for this? I don't know. But I'm not reading any more of that, mate. Because
yeah, I get you.
Poor blind people.
Yeah. I feel for them, but I don't know how you're going to fix it.
Yeah.
You know.
But there's a topic you wanted to touch on, mate.
Yeah. And it's been working on me since I talked about a little, or I made a post a little bit about Twitter. We're all familiar with the little video clip that's made the rounds in recent times of the young fellow busting the egg on the guy's head.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
I think in Australia, I think it is. If you hadn't, it's pretty easy to find. And I just, what makes these people think that it's okay to do that sort of thing? That it's okay, well, and that you're not supposed to respond.
Yeah, people have always done this kind of thing. They've done it to people like Nigel Farage. I forget the former Labour politician who had it done to him not that long ago. Someone punched him, so he hit them back, and rightly so.
Yeah. I can't say that I would do anything different than that politician did and punch him in the face.
Yeah. You have the right to defend yourself.
First of all, it just shows you have no argument. You know, if you have to resort to physical, you know, And we see so much of it, throwing eggs and throwing urine and cokes on people. And what is it that makes them think that this is an okay reaction for somebody they don't agree with?
Well, they can't handle it. They see you can't handle someone disagreeing with them, so they get so mad about it that they choose to get violent. You know, it's something we've seen a massive increase in recent years, and it's worldwide. You know, it's not something specific to any particular country either.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure if Trump didn't have such heavy security, someone would have tried it with him. You know.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, they've done it to our politicians. Most recent really has been Jacob Rees-Mogg. You know, he was stood there with his children, you know, when he had some horrible British middle-class prick lefty walk up to him and start telling his kids what a horrible parent he is and what a horrible man he is. You know, and he's had people try to assault him and throw eggs at him, and not just him, Nigel Farage and plenty of other politicians, you know.
And I've heard some people pick on that politician because the kid was only 17 and because he punched him. Look, you don't have time to ask the kid how old he is before, you know, in a situation like that.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's going to hit you with an egg like that, and he didn't just throw an egg, he smashed it on his head with his hand. That, I don't care how you slice it, and I don't care how little of a thing that was, that's assault. You invaded his personal space and you touched him without permission. That is assault.
But anti-fascism,
yeah,
it's okay because we're fascists. That's how they justify it, you know.
Well,
it's like they see them as genuine fascists and potential dictators, so they it's okay in their mind to attack them.
Yeah, and you know, like I said on Twitter, I'm going to tell you right now, if somebody did that to me, yeah, I'm going to turn around and throat punch them, and then I'll ask questions later. Like, you know, get off me. And it's not that I haven't been in similar situations. You know, here in my state, I don't know that different states have different rules, but in my state, if you're an adult over 18, you're not allowed to physically touch anyone under 16 or under 18, actually. You know, it's against the law. However, if they instigate it and they hit you first, you're allowed to defend yourself.
And rightly so.
And there was a situation where a 16-year-old boy come at me in my yard, going to hit me with a chain. And I told him, look, you're too young for me to hit. But if you hit me with that, all bets are off, and I will hurt you, and I'll hurt you bad. You know, and of course, he never did hit me. The cops came later, and they said I should have just lied about it and said he hit me first. And but I'm too honest for that, you know.
Yeah.
Funny thing is, that kid ended up being my son-in-law.
Definitely should have been
first. Well, he was man enough and had guts enough to come to me later and say, you know, I'm sorry, I was young and dumb. You know, apologize.
At least he did apologize.
Yeah.
A lot of these little shits don't have the character to do that kind of thing.
Yeah. Come on, folks. And in the neighborhood I grew up, if you did that to somebody, you're lucky you didn't get shot. You know, let alone beat up. They think that there's no repercussion, evidently. Nobody's going to do anything. You hear all this call for punch a Nazi, punch a Nazi. Of course, we know they don't have any idea what a Nazi is. But I'd like to see what happened if they actually did punch a Nazi.
Yeah, one-on-one.
Yeah. And watch the butt whooping that they get.
Yeah. Because these neo-Nazis, they're no joke.
No.
The ones who are actually a part of like an organization.
Yeah.
Like, there's documentaries about them. They train to fight.
There's not very many of them, but they often have their own compounds where they train for what they believe is, you know, going to be the war that's coming.
Yeah. And,
you know, there may not be very many of them, but some of them are well trained. And they're morons. They're absolute morons. A lot of them are just idiots that like to dress up, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's not okay to crack someone you disagree with.
Yeah, and Faithless says they have never been punished, so there never has been repercussions. Yeah, and I often wonder that is if this kind of action isn't the result of a generation that's been raised and never told no. You know, they had, as children, they've had no boundaries.
Mm.
And yeah, I know it's controversial to talk about participation trophies and all that. You know, they've never been shown what it's like to not get their way, and now they're adults, and now of course there's going to be times they're not getting their way.
Like, if somebody got in my face and called me a nigger, which has happened before, right? It would be illegal for me to headbutt them, and I would get punished for it.
Yeah,
I would get, and to be honest, I still would probably do it, but I'd accept the punishment. You know, I wouldn't, you know, kick off at the police or anything like that. But
have a good day at work, Kyler.
But I would never ever seek out somebody who I disagreed with to then assault them, or throw eggs at them or anything else, or to attack them whilst they're with their family. That's disgusting.
And if I did, I would fully expect that they're going to punch me back.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know,
John Prescott was his name. Yeah, sorry. It just came to me.
Yeah, and you could tell in that video that kid was caught totally by surprise by that punch. I mean, really? You didn't think?
Mm-hmm. He thought he could just do it and get on with it.
Yeah.
You're big enough to give it, mate. You're big enough to take it.
Exactly. You know, like I said, the law in my state is you're not allowed to touch them. But if they assault you and they make the first move, they hit you first, all bets are off.
Yep.
You do what you have to protect yourself. And that doesn't matter how old they are, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, opinionated Scotsman, we probably both get arrested, provided I grassed up the other guy. You know, yeah. Like if I tattled on the other guy, then yeah, he would probably get arrested as well for calling me a nigger. But of course, like Random American says, "All right, Bear, you were just headbanging and he got in the way." Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I haven't headbutted anybody in years.
Me either. I don't plan to anytime soon.
No, I don't. I'm not a fan of physical conflict. To be honest with you.
All right.
You can't finish. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't want to spend a lot of time on that, but I did want to talk about it, see what chat thought about it, what you thought about it. I'm just like, is it just me, or are these kids people? Because they're not all kids. There's some supposed adults doing this stuff. Are they just morons?
Yeah. Especially these Antifa lot. You know, they the ones over here in the UK are just pathetic. Like, how many of them attacked Tommy Robinson outside of McDonald's? Like 6 of them, and one person filming it or something. And he held his own.
Oh yeah,
against all of them.
Yeah. They're I don't know. I just don't. I don't understand it. I really don't understand. But looking at the clock, it's about story time.
Yay, story time.
Yeah.
But before we do, people of the chat, if you want to support Bloodwing, support your favorite Redneck here on Redneck Radio, you can do so by dropping a like on the stream, sharing it out to your favorite social media platforms. And of course, if you are that way inclined, want to help an old man out, you can do so by throwing some shekels his way via Super Chat or via Streamlabs and Patreon. Links are in the description.
Yeah. There you go. Do it. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, as a teenager, we used to drive a little way, hour and a half outside of, maybe 2 hours outside of town, to where there's a number of rock pits, rock quarries. These aren't the gravel type quarries, that are these are sheer cliffs on all sides, because they've chopped out whatever kind of stone they were quarrying out of there, and they're all full of water, and we'd go out there and swim. Well, It wasn't exactly legal because it's considered private property. But we'd done it many times and got away with it, didn't think anything of it. And a group of us with our girlfriends went out there and we went swimming, went skinny dipping. Next thing we know is we hear the chop, chop, chop of a chopper. And it's like one of those moments where you can't see it, but you can hear it. And then it just appears over the hill,
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and we're like, oh crap, and then there's this loud voice saying, everybody, freeze, don't move. And then this cop car comes screaming up the gravel entryway to the gravel road. They're screaming up, their lights flashing, come skidding to a halt, and they get out with their guns raised. And here we are, all a bunch of teenagers, skinny dipping. And they make us stand there with our hands up, and
you're all naked.
Everyone, I think they've done it just to get a look at our girlfriends, is what I think. Come to find out, and I'm like, isn't this a little bit of overkill for trespassing? A helicopter and a SWAT team, come on.
That's a bit much, yeah.
Just kind of tell us to leave. But come to find out, what had happened is people had been firing illegal automatic weapons, machine guns down there in recent times. So they'd been watching the place. And it was just our misfortune to have went swimming during that period of time. Long story short, they searched us all, which didn't take very long since we weren't wearing anything, and searched our cars and let us go.
Oh, good.
But yeah, it was like surreal out of a movie.
You've had a lot of brushes with law enforcement, haven't you, Bloodwing?
I have, come to think about it. I've never really realized that till I start telling these stories, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, because there was that one, and then there was the time you tried to have a cigarette.
Yeah.
in the foliage. What was the other one? Where the police stopped you after a party, I think it was.
Yeah. I went to jail that night. Yeah.
Bad to the bone.
Yeah. That was the first time I went to jail. Oh my gosh. I was so out of it. I don't even remember being arrested. I just kind of woke up in jail. But I hadn't been asleep. I was away. I'd had the good sense to not go back in the darkness where you couldn't see things. I stayed by the bars where there was light.
Yeah.
And then eventually just kind of came to myself and like, oh, it wasn't a dream. But yeah, I guess I have. I hadn't thought about it,
A naughty boy.
Yeah, but so the moral of the story is, folks, if you and your girlfriend want to go skinny dipping, look around for helicopters first of the black kind.
But yeah, guys, obviously quick shell, if you will. On Thursday, we'll be having Redneck Radio on my channel instead. And that would be from the usual time, which is 6:30 GMT, 2:30 EST. And we'll go for a couple of hours, and it's to celebrate mine and Bloodwing's birthday.
Yeah. Redneck Radio UK edition.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So make sure you come out for that. And we'll probably have a few guests on. And we'll just have a bit of a giggle, Yeah,
Duck Dog, there was a period of time where all the police in my specific neighborhood knew me by name. That is true. Mostly because most of them went to school with my dad. But yeah.
But I think we've come to question time now, haven't we?
Yes, we have. If there's, we've got about 11 minutes left, and then I have Wendy's waiting on me when we get done. So,
yeah, I think Vanilla Bear's done me some food for after the stream. I'm Hank Marvin, because I've not had my evening meal.
Yeah. So yeah, any questions you got, guys? Come on, I know you can't know everything about the two of us that you want to know.
They probably know too much about me, to be fair.
But ask
Animals.
us, yeah, ask us anything. Can't guarantee I'll answer, but if I'm not going to answer, I'll be honest with you and say I'm not answering that.
9 minutes left of the stream, guys. Get your questions in.
Yeah, there you go.
Usually the part of the stream where they all decide to go completely silent. After the stream, I'm going to watch some more anime.
Some more anime?
Yeah.
I'm going to try to play some Ark, but we've been having a lot of trouble with our server lately.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been going down every day. I don't know if you've seen it on Twitter, but our server went down the other day, and when it came back up, all the dinosaurs were gone, even the ones we tamed. They were all
wow.
Gone.
Because of your hard work.
Yeah, well, we got them back. We reset the server back to a point that they were still there. We don't know what happened there, but it was down again before the stream. I stopped in and took a look, so we'll see. And the problems have all been on the provider side. It's not Ark's fault. It's the people providing the server.
Yeah. Well, I need to get that shit in one sock.
Yep. Need to get it together.
Peter Ormans asked the same question again and again and again. What am I going to watch? I'm going to continue watching Log Horizon. And then there should be a brand new episode of Shield Hero tomorrow.
Yeah. Have you ever been asked the same question over and over again? I have. There's this fellow called Peter Allman. He's a real pain in the butt and keeps asking me the same question.
Any hidden talents? Surviving encounters with the police for Bloodwing?
Well, that, and I can fart on command.
There you go. I don't know. I'm really good at rifle drill. It's been some years since I've done it. I'm good at writing, I personally feel, as well. Oh, Jack's just started watching Log Horizon too. Yeah, I found the first like 6 episodes a bit hard to get into, but it's starting to get good now. So,
what's the most indiscernible Brit accent?
Well, seeing as he used the word Brit, which means all of the Isle. Yeah. So probably Glasgow, like a thick Glasgow
Scottish,
accent is probably is up there, I'd say.
Yeah, I have to really concentrate really hard on a person with a really thick Scottish accent to understand them.
Well, there are some people from Northern Ireland. Their accent can be very thick.
Yeah.
Very, very thick. I bet Bear could suck a golf ball through a garden hose. Full Metal Jacket reference there. You just described anal sex. Did I? Yeah. Singing me a song, not without money.
No. I'm not going to get my dulcet tones for free.
It's also my mother's birthday on Thursday.
Is it?
Yes, I was born on her birthday.
Oh, that's strange. Jacob was born on my grandmother's birthday.
Oh, there you go. And I pissed on her face when I was born.
Well, that's okay. Jake had pooped. I got his first bowel movement.
You did?
Oh, and it was all over me. And if I don't, those unfamiliar, that first one, the very first one out of, after they come out, is very much like tar.
Yeah, it is. And then when it comes through solid, it's yellow.
Yeah.
Worst birthday present ever, eh, Bear? What? Doing it when I pissed on my mum. She enjoyed it.
Hey, all you need. Worst present I ever had on my birthday was my 16th birthday. It was 4 stitches.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe I'll tell that story one.
I'm sorry to hear that, number one. Who says his mum died on his birthday?
Yeah, that's not good. Sorry to hear that, buddy.
That's a bad time, yeah.
Babies are mustard machines.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
pretty
are.
much.
Yes,
Pretty
they are.
much.
Oh dear. Alfie was all right, you know. He was a good baby. He's a very good kid, to be fair. He's a very, very good kid. Very, very smart kid as well. But boy, he's got a temper.
I wonder where he gets that from.
It's his fucking mother.
Uh-huh. All Vanilla's fault. We know.
It
Yeah.
is. Blame her. She's the woman. Don't blame me. He's a very loving child as well, which he gets that from me as well. Babies are evil. Nah, they're not. Nah, they're not. Alfie was lovely as a kid, as a wee burn. The best part of babies is handing them back to their parents.
And they're screaming. Yeah. Or if you're a grandparent, the best part is buying them noisy toys to get your revenge.
Yeah, my sister-in-law thought she was super funny when she bought Alfie a miniature drum set.
Has
She
he been
knew
allowed to play with it yet?
Nope. Yeah, Alfie peed on me a few times when I was still getting used to changing nappies or diapers, as Americans say. What did you want to be when you grew up? I wanted to join the military.
When I was a little kid, you got to understand Westerns were the big thing. I mean, they were all over TV, all the movies, John Wayne, all that stuff. And so, yeah, I wanted to be a cowboy.
Cowboy, baby.
Yeah, I wanted to be a cowboy with my 6 shooters.
Food. 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 I'm hungry. She's cooked me brisket.
Feed me, Seymour.
Which Brits don't really eat brisket. It was something that I saw in the supermarket. It was like, that's an American dish. I'll have that. Have me dinner.
One of these days, you're going to get to come over here, Bear, and I'm going to show you how real Americans eat.
And I will not stop eating.
You'll feel your arteries hardening as you eat, but it'll be delicious.
Yeah, I want to have proper redneck barbecue when I'm over there.
Yeah.
And I also want to have what's that fast food place that you eat all the time that you got after the stream? Taco Bell.
Oh, Taco Bell. Yeah. Pumpkin Trucker asks PBR or Old Milwaukee. Well, I'm not a real big fan of either. Yeah, I know I'm not a good redneck, huh? But if I had to choose, it'd be PBR.
Brisket isn't American. Well, to me, it is because you don't ever hear British people use the word brisket or hear about them eating brisket. I've only ever heard it in American movies. I'll regain all the weight I've lost when I come over there.
Yeah, likely.
Mm-hmm.
Likely.
I got weighed at the ADHD clinic yesterday. She's right, cheeky bitch. But I've actually lost even more.
Well, good for you. Well, I guess. Do you want to?
Yeah. I don't like being a fat knacker.
I've lost some weight too, and I didn't really want to. But
well, you're old. Like old people need that cushion. You know. Yeah. You're like babies. You need the weight.
All right, folks, it's close enough. Chat has slowed down enough, and I see that at least 20 people have dropped out of the stream. So we're at the end of it. Thank you all for coming out and supporting my channel and my stream, and Bear and I. Thank you all for the donations, Bear. Thank you as always. Anything you want to show?
Yeah, I just slammed it in the chat. Go give it a watch. New video on Irate Alex, guys.
There you go. Go watch it. Do it. As soon as the stream's over, go do it. All right. Well, and again, thank you, everybody. And as always, get out of my yard.
Bye, guys.